Almost two-thirds of the employees across the world do not want to return to office once the pandemic has ended, and they are willing to quit if they are forced to. All the big giant corporations are bringing in stricter and stricter policies so that employees are left with no more options. So, is there something called a work-life balance anymore? Or is it the hustle culture that we are destined to fulfill? We keep on working until our minds and bodies get burnt out and we cannot productively function anymore, and so we retire. But there is a way to live your life much more happily. There can only be 24 hours in a day, but you actually have the option how you spend those 24 hours. Let me share with you 6 secrets how you can buy back your time and reclaim your life. The first hack is to pay for specialized services and not to do everything with your own hands. What we think is that we actually save money by not asking a professional to do their job. What we don't realize is that even if we try our best to learn the task, perfect the task, and then execute the task, the professional will still execute that task better than us. I mean, they are called professional for a reason. A research shows that a professional can do a task thrice as quicker and twice as better as compared to a person doing the same task for the first time. Let's take an example of Dubai. You realize that it costs you at least 100 per week to get your apartment cleaned up. And then it costs you approximately 200 per week to get the basic cooking done. What we calculate is that we are actually spending 300 a week just for the basic cooking and cleaning tasks. While we realize that we can do these basic tasks ourselves, but a professional can do it better than us, and it can save tons of time on our hand. At the same time, it will reduce your stress, increase your relaxation time, and ultimately improve your ultimate well-being. You value your freedom to enjoy the tasks that bring you joy and happiness. You could focus more on your career and your leisure activities and not being overwhelmed by the household activities. So, allocating a portion of your budget to save much of your monthly time is always a win. Number 2, buying recurring items in bulk. A study suggests that an average person spends around 43 minutes per grocery trip. Now, if you make 2 grocery trips a week, that makes close to 75 hours spent just on grocery in a year. Time lost, isn't it? Let's take an example here. You are someone living in Dubai as a marketing executive. You have very hectic weekdays and occasional social commitments and leisure activities planned for the weekends. But you prefer cooking at home and eating healthy rather than eating out frequently. So you have a decision to make. Your weekly schedule leaves you with little time to spend on these tasks, and on the weekend you actually want to enjoy your free time rather than running the errands. And you have a tight budget as well. So based on these considerations, you actually seek a more balanced approach towards grocery shopping. For non-perishable items and other necessities such as rice, pasta, canned foods, and toiletries, you decide to buy in bulk using stores like Nesto or its app, avoiding the grocery trips, saving you 6 hours on a weekly basis. You take advantage of buying in bulk from the supermarkets, availing all the discounts, and making only necessary grocery trips every once in a while, maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. For fresh produce and perishable items like milk and vegetables, which you decide to do more frequently rather than once every 2 weeks, you decide to use your local grocery store, which do have an option to deliver free of any cost. Again, the purpose here is to save those 43 minutes per grocery trips and use that same time to produce more productive things. Number 3, we like to micromanage our finances every single day of the month. We often decide to micromanage our finances all the time and pay every single penny every month with our own hands, be it utility bills or subscriptions. Now, this can be true for the first couple of months, but this cannot keep going on, as this is our precious time and we do not want to increase our anxiety doing this monotonous task every single month by our own hands. For example, if you know that you are going to use the home internet for the foreseeable future, you might as well put a recurring payment on your app so that it happens automatically, rather than you logging in the app and making the payment every single month again and again. William Shakespeare said, "Better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late." And this fits in so nicely in today's world where we want to avoid any late payment surcharges just because we have forgotten to make a payment. Now, number 4 is a bit tricky. Avoiding to stand in the lines. Now, mostly in our world today, at our social gatherings or events or public places or even at diners, there are long waiting lines and queues outside the stores. And we feel like an obligation to stand in those lines. What we don't account for is the precious time lost doing the same. 90% of the time, we have an option to pre-book or buy that ticket a week ago, not just saving time, but also availing the discounts. Apps like Coupon and Groupon offer discounted tickets to services and accesses across Dubai. Next one is very important. While we are deciding for a place to live, we look for the cheapest option, whether it is in Sharjah and you work in Dubai. Though we account for the rental cost, we do not take into account the time it takes to commute. Now that most of the offices have recalled their staff back to office, it is really important to avoid that hours long of commute just to get to office every single morning. What we are left with is a tired body after a long commute and no energy left to spend with our family. So, if you have an additional 1000 dirham to spend it on a place to live near your workplace. 6th time saver is your schedule planner. My most productive days are the ones where I have planned for all my meetings the previous day. I noticed that if I start my day without a schedule, the first couple of hours are spent just to decide what to do for the rest of the day. And this makes me lose out on a lot of productive time. The key here is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Having a clear schedule for the complete day from the moment you wake up and then have your breakfast, work out and go to work sets your body and mind in a rhythm for the rest of your day. If you liked my video, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel so we can bring you more valuable content in future. Till our next video, stay safe everyone.